Good morning. So I wanted to point out there has been a version 1.7 free addendum added to the Google Drive just to add to your Parallax football experience. Completely optional. This is referred to as the point of attack static adjustment, and we also have the receiver adjustment. So what are these? So the original game, it did not have a point of attack at all, right? The basic game does not have a point of attack check at all. The original game had a point of attack variable role, and the complete game uses a variable role. However, I think make the game more dynamic and streamlined based on the style of football you're playing, I also have a static adjustment. I've also included the receiver grade value adjustment to catches based on the style of football you're playing. So first, what does this mean? Well, if you're playing Canadian or college football, you're going to want to use the point of attack static adjustment for football. So let's say you're playing Canada. Say you're playing the CFL 1958, and your team's offensive run versus their run stuff rates them out to a B. You would add 2 yards. You would use the B chart for all your runs, but you would add 2 yards to every single run for your Canadian team. If your team rated out, so the best you can be in Canada is a +2 to your runs, +1. The worst you can be in Canada is a 0 modifier to your runs. So in other words, running the ball in Canadian football is a little easier based on production, but also based on the neutral zone, which is 1 yard off the ball, right? Okay, so if you're playing college football, same thing. Running the football in the history of college ball is almost a full yard greater than pro football. There have been obviously running backs that have led the country or have had brilliant seasons, averaging 6-7 yards a carry. So you will use this adjustment for your point of attack. This basically accounts for the offensive line's ability to produce a room for your backs before they're even hit, right? So in United States pro football, this would be any professional United States league. A's will earn you a +2, +1, 0, -1, -1. So the best that a American pro football will be at giving you a bonus will be +2. But the worst a pro football team can be is a -1. High school, again, like college, generally high school, you average a little more per carry. So again, 2, +1, 0, -1 though, because of course high schools vary greatly in talent. So of course you can see high school teams that will just not be very good at all at making running lanes. Okay. If you want to use this set of rules for indoor football, again, indoor football is very difficult to run. I think the average back will average about 1.5 to 2 yards a carry in indoor football. That's going to obviously be a little skewed in my game. You'll probably be a little higher, but 0, 0, -1, -1, -2. So running the ball in indoor football would be ultimately, you would not necessarily want to do that. But there you have it. Semi-pro, this would be the UFL, the AAFL, XFL, and semi-pro leagues, right? The adjustments would be +1, +1, -1, -2. And the base game, this was the original Parallax Basic Football, which was designed for you to create fictional teams. The base, so this fictional could also be called base. It's +2, +1, -1, -2. Right. Remember, there is the actual point of attack role in the rules is a variable. So if you have a PoA of A, you're going to roll a D6 and see what kind of adjustment you get. So it's variable. You don't get this +2 on every snap. But to speed up play and to guarantee you're going to see a certain style of football, this adjustment for, let's say, I don't know, I can't think of a Canadian team offhand that would automatically come out an A. But there'll be teams, I guarantee they do, they're going to be automatically getting +2 added to every single run. And that's just the way it is. So, again, you can offset this with defense. And with head-to-head play, you might not want to use this. You might want to use variable for head-to-head play. Because it'd be, but you can also key backs in head-to-head play, which drops the team to an F chart. Okay, so long story short, there are now point of attack static adjustments based on the style of football you're playing. Okay? Do not use both. So either play with static, don't use point of attack at all, which is the basic game. Use the variable roll, or use static. Do not use both static and variable. It's going to create steps, but it's also going to create a really out there stuff. I guess you could, but that it would skew the rushing quite a bit. Okay. Now, the fictional / base game for reception. So when a receiver catches the ball, he gets to add 5 yards to every catch. So let's say I roll, it's a catch to Biletnikoff. Let's say Biletnikoff's a B, and I roll a 6 on the reception chart, and that happens to be I roll 6 yards on the reception chart. He would add his 4 to the 6 for a 10-yard catch. So that's the fictional base game. This would be what you do if you're using the catch and run rules. That's the basic, right? However, adjust that for Canadian and college. A B receiver would add 5 yards, not 4. An A receiver would add 6 yards to a catch in Canadian college. However, you'll also notice the worst you can be in Canadian college is adding 2 yards to a catch. So Canadian college ball, wide receivers have a little more impact on yards per pass. U.S. pro football is the same as base. It's exactly the same as the base. So 5-4-3-2-1 is the same as fictional / base, 5-4-3-2-1. High school, it would be 6 for A's. However, B's 4, C's 3, 2, and an F will add nothing. So high school's got a little dynamism going on here for, in other words, a top receiver in high school, let's say a Randy Moss style receiver at the high school level, hugely dangerous. However, a poor receiving core in high school is not going to give you any bonus, right? So this would be based on either your modified grade or your non-modified individual receiver grade, however you want to play it. Remember, the game allows you to adjust and tweak how it suits you to have your football. All right, indoor, the best receiver in indoor football is only going to add 4 yards to every catch. The worst receiver is going to add 1, though. Okay, semi-pro ball, it's going to be 5-4-3-1-0. So again, in semi-pro ball, your D's and your F's. Semi-pro ball, again, it's like, again, I watched the UFL opening kickoff game yesterday. And these guys, they're just not the same cats, right? The quarterbacks are less accurate, but receivers tend to drop a lot of passes. I'm not adjusting the charts for drop passes, but we're not talking about the creme de la creme. We're talking about guys who can't make it in pro football, basically. So this would be semi-pro 2, could also be your local semi-pro league. I played in a semi-pro league, a year or so out of high school. I shouldn't say I played for it. I tried out for a semi-pro team a year or so out of high school, and I did not make the team, but I tried out. But again, semi-pro, there are semi-pro leagues all over the country, right? So that would be your adjustments to receiving there, right? Same with rushing in semi-pro, what it was like to run at semi-pro level. And then fictional is what the base. So if you see fictional, that's what the game's base is, because you're creating fictional teams. Right, that would be your base. Again, do not use base fictional, modified REs, and type non-modified. So you wouldn't want to use both the base and the modified, non-modified. What I mean by that is you don't add your fictional to your Canadian for 11, right? Okay. Players may use the raw, non-modified RE grades based on your individual receivers, or, and when I say non-modified, if Biletnikoff's an A, he's an A when he catches the ball. He won't affect your completion percentage, but he'll affect his ability to get more yardage after the catch. Okay, if you're, say Randy Moss in the pros adds 5. Let's say Randy Moss adds 5 to every catch. He won't be adjusted by the coverage, right? Randy Moss gets to add his raw grade to every catch, 5. However, if you're playing, if you don't want to use individual receiver grades, you do use the team's modified RE grade versus coverage. So let's say a team with Randy Moss is normally an A against a great coverage team, drops them to a C. Everybody who catches passes for, let's say, the Patriots of 07 would be adding 3 yards. And we don't care if it's Randy Moss or the halfback. They would add 3 to every catch. However, if you want to target receivers like in a head-to-head game, there would be backs, for the Patriots that have a +1. There'd be Randy Moss who has 5, right? So why would you want to do this? That's if you want to have players individually affect play, or if you're head-to-head and I want to throw to Randy Moss, I want that +5. You got to give the other coach a chance to double cover Randy Moss and greatly reduce their completion percentage chance, right? So you'll see, again, or you can roll dice to determine pass versus run. But even in the head-to-head game, you can key running backs and you can key receivers to reduce receivers to an F grade, right? So just so you know, so this is an addendum. This is in the Parallax Football Complete book that's been published. I should say was updated last week and set to be published. However, it dawned on me there will be people who have the free downloads, PDFs, and there might be those who ordered early versions of the books, the Parallax Football Basic and the Parallax Football Original, who would not have this information. So I decided I would make this available free. Again, this is completely optional. You don't have to use it in any way. But there you have it. And what it does is it shows you how you can, again, as you make even fictional college, you can create your own fictional college league and use the fictional base, or you could say, well, I want it to be a college level league, so I'm going to use these numbers, right? Same here, college level league or a fictional college league. So indoor, semi-pro. So these are the adjustments you would make to the base rushing. And remember, this would not be variable, right? These will not be variable. You still roll for the completion to see what the catch is for, then add the receiver's grade, or you still run the ball in the variable running play chart, but you're going to have a static number now affect every single run against certain competition. So a great run defense will probably keep most teams in the C, D, or F category. A great running attack will probably stay in C or B, and may even be up in the A category depending on the kind of defense they face, right? Run stuff defense. All right, thanks for watching. Again, there'll be a link here to grab this. Bye-bye.